Hey there, everybody. Welcome back with the Plat. We're back in Magic the Gathering Arena for part 1 of Nighty Night. Now, I got this deck from MTG, who I believe is also covering it from a tournament. So I don't know who originally used it. I'm not that up to date with the actual esports scene, but I am gonna put MTG's video below. It's gonna have a couple decks in there. This is the first one. I'm probably gonna go through all the decks since I really just want to try them, and they're obviously decks that are performing well in the meta. So this is Nighty Night, night themed deck, as you believe it or not. And the first thing that caught me off guard is how this isn't an aggro deck. I thought this deck would be very aggro-y with like History Benalia as like a finisher, but really it's much more mid-rangey than I was expecting. Duress is our only one drop we're running. And this is mostly, you know, get rid of the counters, get rid of their board wipes preemptively. It can sometimes help our mid-rangey game, and sometimes it basically just gives us something to do on turn 1. It's not that incredible of a card, it's easily to cut, but every now and then it is the card that you could single-handedly own your victory to when you get a Kaya's Wrath out of their hand or a Cryocanarium, right? And then suddenly you win off the back of them not having an answer. But really this deck's a lot about playing just like creatures that are really good at the mana cost. Knight of Malice, Knight of Grace. Knight of Grace is probably a little bit better because it avoids things like Cast Down, but these are 2 mana, essentially 3/2 first strikers, which is nuts. They trade with Goblin Chain Whirler at 2 mana, which is really good. We got the Vanguard here, a Danto Vanguard, which indestructible, basically on command, attacking 3 strength and indestructible. These are hard creatures to deal with. We've got refill in the sense of Midnight Reaper. Totally worth noting, Midnight Reaper is a knight, so he does synergize well with History Benalia, but also he's one of your best refill cards in the deck, and in fact, he's one of your only refill cards in the deck, unless you get to the hyper late game where Liliana comes into play. Now the card Gideon Blackblade was a card that I was not super impressed with when I started the night. I never really wanted to play it. I was like, why would I ever play Gideon? I always want to play History Benalia on 3 to keep the pressure up. But because this isn't an aggro deck, it's much more mid-rangey. You don't need, like, depending on the matchup, playing History Benalia on 3 over Gideon is not always the right play at all. It's definitely more pressure, but sometimes you're just playing into their AoE removal. Gideon basically avoids all of the AoE removal. If you're playing like a Knight of Malice into a Gideon, and you know, you're getting like 3 life or whatever, you get the +1 on Gideon, and then they'll have to use single target removal or something, or like, it's just much harder for them to answer your board state when it's in the form of a good Planeswalker and a good creature. As far as History Benalia, it turns out like I had way more luck with it, playing out Gideon, playing out these hard to remove creatures, and then when they answer the board eventually with their sweep, or they've Vraska's Contempt and then sweep, you know, they're running low on these answers, then you play History Benalia as basically a finisher, as a refill for the board, because it's so much damage in one card. Not anymore, like, other than your Planeswalkers, it's like the most powerful individual card in terms of what you're getting for value. So Gideon ended up being very impressive. It's obviously a card that looks impressive. It felt weak at first, but the more experience I got with it, it really was carrying the game so much, like in a lot of the matchups. History Benalia, duh, is phenomenal. I don't need to explain that. Mortify, you're kind of running, you could run 4 cast downs. The thing is, Mortify gets through, like, you can actually hit Lyra, you can actually hit Niv Mizzet, you can actually hit Wilderness Reclamation or Search for Escanta. It's a way, way, way more flexible card. And the only reason we're not running 4 of them instead of, 2 cast downs is that we are a creature focused deck and we do put a lot of pressure on. Cast down is so much better in the mono red, mono blue matchups, things like that. Mono blue I actually haven't played in like a few days though. The mono blue is definitely dying in popularity on ladder. I'm sure it's definitely there in certain ranks, but I wouldn't really tech cards against that anymore. But anyway, Mortify is so flexible, but sometimes you really need cast down. So it's a 2-2. Definitely in a best of 3 game, you would be sideboarding out whatever one is not as good for the matchup for the better one. But I actually like having both of them. Vraska's Contempt, obviously just good Planeswalker removal. We've seen this card in every deck forever. It's phenomenal. Really good in basically every matchup. Very few times are you unhappy to have this card. Seraphis Scales is not a knight, so it's not inherently synergistic with a lot of the other cards in the deck, but it is like just an insanely powerful 4-drop, right? Like a 4-mana 4/3 that's both flying with vigilance and has Afterlife too, and sometimes is death. It trades up, it goes over their head for tons of damage. If they board wipe it, you get 2 more guys. It's just a really good 4-drop. It helps finish out games really well, especially near the top end of the creature curve at the very least. You're very happy to follow this with, you know, History Benalia into something like this. Just keep the pressure going. Elders Are Born, it's kind of a weird one. I think I only had one game where it actually was good. Every other game, it either was not necessary or I didn't get to the mana before we won. I honestly would probably cut these. It's a good card, but I would probably just run another Vraska's for Planeswalker removal and another higher end Planeswalker. Like, it's a good card. It just was, it felt so niche of when I needed it. There was never really a board state outside or once or twice that I cared that I had this card. So I think there's a card that'd probably be more flexible in more situations than this card, even though it is one of my favorites. I think this is one that definitely could be cut in a best of one format. Yeah. So this is one that I've also, I made a few changes to the deck, not a ton, but so this deck is running 2 Lilianas. I cut one of the Lilianas for an Ugin. I didn't play many games with the Ugin, and I actually never resolved it. And I never got it in any of the games where I had it in there. But the thing is, I was just thinking, these cards are so similar in so many ways, right? They're both 6 mana Planeswalkers with a, you know, the passive doesn't matter, but they both essentially have a +1, create a 2/2, and get card advantage in one. And they have a minus ability as removal. Now, the difference is Liliana makes it so if any of your creatures die, you draw a card, not just that 2/2. And the 4 gets rid of 2 creatures instead of 1 creatures. But here's the, like, I just felt like Ugin was so much better so much of the time, at least in the thought, you know, I need to play more games where I actually feel Ugin. That's why I'm running one of each, so I can kind of see side by side. But for here, in my mind, Ugin creates a 2/2 that when it gets removed, you get the card. So it's unconditional on Ugin surviving at all. I had multiple games with Liliana where I played Liliana, I created the 2/2, and then it is like Vraska contempted Liliana. And then I got 0 cards out of it. Ugin will always get you the cards as long as those creatures get removed eventually. Whereas Liliana doesn't always get you the cards, which is frequently the most important part of a 6 mana Planeswalker, is the body and the card. And Ugin guarantees you both of those essentially, where Liliana, you're likely to get more cards, like you more frequently can get way more cards, but if they have an answer, then you're just like flat. Sacrificing 2 creatures felt way less relevant in a deck where I'm running Cast Down, Mortify, Vraska's Contempt, and just some fat, beefy creatures that are hard to trade with in general. There are not many decks running creatures that are that much bigger than you other than mono green, where this is probably pretty good, but in most matchups, it wasn't that good. Obviously, it has a synergy with drawing cards and stuff, but I felt the Ugin's -3, destroying any target permanent that's 1 or more colors, was so much more flexible and was very regularly. I wanted that. I didn't want to sacrifice my creatures. I wanted to get rid of their 1 blocker or their 1 planeswalker and get in for more damage with my creatures. I didn't want it to sacrifice 2 of my creatures and to draw, you know, 2 cards to sacrifice 2 of theirs. It just, overall, Ugin in theory sounds way better to me. I'm sure whoever made this deck and ran it the tournament play tested it, and Ugin was not as good, but I just have a hard time seeing Ugin not being better in a wider variety of situations. And maybe this is just like they think is a better sideboard card because maybe it's better in specific matchups, but it felt more of a general all-purpose best of 1 card for me. But I'm biased because I love Ugin. It's my new favorite Planeswalker as well. A few things that I changed as well. It's just minor. I took out a couple swamps, added a couple plains. Not much, but I found myself a ton of the time. Like, it was like 8 swamps and 5 plains or something, or it was like 9 swamps and 4 plains, something crazy like that, which is understandable. But the only double black in our entire deck is Liliana. And as far as plains go, we have 2 different double white casting costs on 3. In between running so few plains and running 4 mobilized districts, which I'll get to in just 1 second, I always felt like I was having trouble drawing the white mana I needed. And yeah, maybe we're not gonna be able to rest on turn 1 quite as frequently, but I just think getting that second white source is so vital to your this is your most powerful cards in your, you know, a lot of times your games are gonna be dictated about being able to play your 3-drop on 3. Sometimes you can get by with not playing your 2-drop on 2, but you have flexible, you know, you have, 1 black and 1 white, so you're likely gonna be able to play any of your 2-drops regardless of the mana you draw. But needing double white on 3 in order to have a continued presence on the board, it felt super vital. And so I just think cutting a few of the swamps for a few extra planes just help with overall consistency. Now, Mobilized District. This is a card you're gonna hear me bitch about a lot in some of the clips to follow. I have mixed feelings about it because this card won me so many games. It's so powerful and so good, especially with Gideon, right? Because you get a 3-mana 3/3 essentially with haste, right? Because it's already been in the battlefield because it's a land. With vigilance, and you can give it indestructible. You can give it life steal to get you out of the range. Like I had it save me against mono red because I had Gideon in this, and you know I would play this down. I had a 3/3 with lifelink. Boom, hit him for Gideon in this for 7, and then they both go away, so they can't remove it. And it just like they couldn't attack all out. It's just so good. But man, did I get mana screwed by this card sometimes on curve because I just did not get the double white source, or I did not get the double black for Vraskas or something. I felt like this card was always screwing me in some way. But in the games where, now that I adjusted the mana a little bit, and that the card's just too powerful to cut, I think. It's so good in here. Also, I think one argument for keeping one Ugin, one Liliana is that they could both be on the field. It does make Mobilized District slightly better. And because these are essentially the same card in so many ways, I actually think it's another little synergy there. Anyway, the deck, I did really well with it. I got like probably a 70% win rate, something like that. A lot of the deck games that I lost were just drawing too many lands. You know, the typical Magic 1 out of 10 games you aren't playing Magic at all. But like the deck was good. It was fun. It was powerful. I think it took some learning though. Like it wasn't just an aggro deck. It was much slower and more powerful and resilient than I was giving it credit for. I was thinking just get in History Benalia, blow them up on turn 4. And although the deck does have potential for that, if you get really good draws and they don't have answers, it's much more like you're running 6-drops in this deck, right? You're running 2 6-drops, 2 5-drops. You're not trying to beat them by turn 3, right? You have that late game that you are planning to get to eventually if you need it. So I think it's, you know, it's safe to like pull back a little bit, all right? You know they're gonna have a board clear. You're not gonna kill them before that resolves. Play your things that are hard, you know, that'll avoid the board clear. And then once they're out of answers, then you kind of go in for the final push. You start getting crazy value with your Eldest Reborns, your Ugins, your Gideons, things like that. Anyway, guys, you know what? I hope you enjoy the clips to follow. I stream Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Links in the description for all the goodies, the Discord, the blah, 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 the this, the that. So go ahead and check it out down there, and I hope to see you guys next time, and I hope you enjoyed the clip. Gotta say, I've drinking other energy drinks. I still think Red Bull's the best, but damn, these tiny cans are not the way to go. Nine Malice on 2 into insane 3-drop, insane 4-drop is all seems worth keeping. All of it seems valuable. We always duress since, you know, it's a play. His hand's not that good. It's not bad. But like that's not, I mean, that is pretty good. I probably would keep that. Double Tajik. Oh, I guess right. He can get rid of one of them. He can cycle it. I need a land. Protection from white is really good. Hexproof from white. If they control a, I don't know if it matters which one we play here. Because they're playing black, we'll get, oh sorry, shit, wrong one. That was the opposite of what I wanted. So because they're playing black, I want hexproof from black so they can't cast it down. Or anything, but I chose the wrong one. Let's see, it wouldn't have mattered, it was red. But it slows them down to a crawl, right? We have a lot of those. Turn this down a little bit. We're running 25 lands also, so what was it? Shouldn't be that loud. All right, this is what we want. Now black removal won't work. Hard to get all that poison out of that can, but we did it. Hey, cool. That's quite nice. I will History Benalia. Gideon would be so good to give this Vigilance right now, but we'll just leave up a chump blocker. Not chump blocker, it's the opposite. It's a fantastic blocker. We will get rid of Liliana. We will get rid of... we get rid of Mortify. A 9 of Malice is probably just better. Guess I get rid of Mortify instead of Knight of Malice. It's tough to say. We obviously don't get rid of Seraph. Dope. I will attack. You can kill this by double trading. Like, both of his creatures will die. You could use both pings to hit this. Like, we may have missed a land drop, but double history is very powerful, especially against this deck. Yeah. Oh, that's right. We want to kill Judith. He just double blocked it, too, which I actually find kind of surprising. You're going to deal it to my face, of course. That doesn't do anything, man. I'm sorry. You missed the point of damage on my face. "22 Eat Rocks" is a pretty good name, though. Hey, not bad. We will pay 2 life. It'll make him scared to block. He wasn't gonna block anyway, right? He might be too much damage for him to take. All right, friend, what you got? Another Lava Coil will be pretty good against this Angel. Okay, you got Judith. Goodbye. Got him. Shout. That's a fancy name. Why is that name so fancy? Nothing playable on 2, but we have all the like, this is so slow. This deck isn't an aggro deck. It's a mid-range deck, right? It's a 90-night mid-range deck. We're hoping to draw a land that's playable. Aha. Like, we have to make a decision right now. Do we want to play something on 2 or something on 3? I hate this card, man. This card feels like such shit. In this deck, not in other decks, but like, man, it feels bad. Whenever another vampire enters the battlefield, I guess we play the Vanguard, right? You're at 18. I'm sure if you're playing vampires, you got a lot of life link. We could probably go History Benalia. Gideon's not that good. I would really like a black permanent as well, but I don't have a way to get that. Okay. That's not very good. I mean, he could put another one on top of his deck, but who cares? Okay. Do I get a C? And put that card on top. I do get a C, so I didn't even see what he drew. Oh, it must have been that card exactly. Okay. He's not gonna attack. That makes no sense. I can't kill it. But I guess he wants it as a blocker. We Gideon here? Well, I guess we do. I wasn't trying to, but that's fine.
I will defend the weak.
I really wanted the History Benalia, if I'm being legit. We will life him.
Prepare for battle.
I don't know what he has on 1 mana. He might have like Moment of Triumph. I think it's like, oh, nothing. Okay. And that's why we picked the life link, right? He only needs 1 damage to kill this, but I also didn't want to play it. I mean, I did play it, but I really, really wanted to play History Benalia, because 2 History Benalias, especially in a Knight deck, is so much better than Gideon. Not that Gideon's not fantastic. Whenever you gain life, untap this card. Okay. Oh, that's right. He doesn't even have to do that. He can just kill Gideon. It doesn't matter. Then he's leaving himself wide open.
Not again.
Yeah, that's fine. Where's my black permanents, man? I have a lot of them. This guy could really be a 3 strength guy right now. I got a history. We got a duress. take Unbreakable Formation. I don't know what this does. It doesn't give lifelink, right? It does get lifelink. Oh my Christ. This creature deals 1 damage to our creature planeswalker. That, well. Damn. We're in a tough spot here. And we get Vraska's Contempt it when he does that, but still, yeah, it is scary. And I guess we do have the perfect answer. It's hard to get mad when you have a perfect answer, right? Nice, yeah, I agree. I'll absolutely let you trade with one of my 2/2s. Alright. Questionable. I mean, maybe he got another really dope card. Equipped creature has tap. This creature deals 1 damage. Let me read that. 1 damage to target player or planeswalker. If this creature is a wizard, it deals 2 damage. That feels, okay, there's no way that's like a real thing, right? Whenever you cast a heroic spell, return target creature card with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. That's pretty good. Don't know if you have anything that deals with it though. Where you're like, I don't know if it helps you at all right now. 1 landed, so nice. I'll take that. Oh, this isn't a knight, that's a vampire. Whatever. It's still an insanely good card. Good game. Five mana is like, we're running 25 lands. 5 mana shouldn't be that much, but it really does feel like a fuck ton. We have 6 drop. We have a couple 6 drops. I'd rather run Ugin than Liliana, honestly. This is like a way, way better hand than our entire last game was. The only thing we don't have is double white for History of Benalia, if we get it, if we draw into it. This deck feels like it has a lot of land problems for me as well. This avoids way, way, way more removal. This could just be shocked. I think the correct play would be to it. Like, if he assumes I'm gonna block, if his assumption is that I'm gonna block, if you attack and then I block, then I trigger to take 4 damage. In response, you shock it. That way I have to trigger a second time, take 8 damage from my own card just to make it live. The answer, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna not block. Because I'm not gonna take 8 damage from my own card to prevent 1 damage and not even trade, right? It's cool with me, bro. I don't care. Gideon is great in this matchup, though. Do we need a 3rd land for anything? No. Take this. Do we take 4 damage to keep this alive? Yeah. Because it still eats up a card. Bum, bum, bum. Okay. Well, he did keep the shock up. Maybe we should have attacked first. That's why you never do anything in the first main phase. That was so dumb of me to do it. Because he would have wasted the shock on this guy, right? And then I would have had my guy up, and I would be at 2 less life, or I'd be at I'd be at less life. But Man, Gideon would be real nice right now. Getting lifesteal on this card is really good. Or lifesteal in general is so good against red. I've drawn so many Gideons. It'd be nice to draw one now. Could play Mobilized District. No reason not to. Yeah, we'll take 4. And if he shocks it a second time, then we know our scales is safe. I guess, you know, we'll just I mean, that's like the perfect play against this card too. But there's nothing we could do against having. He had triple shock, right? Yeah, he had triple shock. This resolves. He's got to hit it for 3, and I get 2 1/1s out of it. But I mean, if he could hit it for 3 for 1 mana, like with Wizard's Lightning, and then he can go directly into a Chain Whirler, like it would be so absurd. Mono red's disgusting, man. He hasn't played a single new card yet, but I'm sure that there's some in there. Is that a light at the stage? No. Okay. Okay, we have Cast Down, Liliana, Midnight Reaper. We're not out of this, but we're very low. Liliana could help get us out of here. I mean, this is going to deal us 1 damage when it dies. But if he hits this instead of hitting us face with the spell, it's deal 2 damage if you choose on 1 or 2 targets. That's weird. Okay. I haven't seen that card. Is that new? Yeah, it is new. All right. Well, there he goes. Oh, that's really nice. We already trigger his Spectacle for him because we deal 1 damage to ourselves. No, we do not take 2 damage here to play Liliana. We just keep Vraska's up. We play Vraska's on anything he plays when he passes the turn, then we pop Liliana. Right. He might just have like some crazy kind of lethal in his hand. Now when he kills my cards, I do draw cards. Liliana is really tough for mono red to deal with. Except for the fact that we do have a we do have 2 life in our hand that he's probably not going to account for. All right. Okay. I can play History of Benalia. And I could still keep up enough for Vraska's. It looks like this is probably GG. He's probably trying to keep enough burn. Like, if he could just get 3 burn spells, we are dead. But if he plays a creature and then tries to burn us, it's not going to work. Even a Planeswalker won't work. It has to be like exactly 3 burn spells. And he has time to draw it. Costs 1 less to activate for each legendary creature and Planeswalker you control. Okay. We're drawing a lot of fucking lands still. Like, there's so many. Like, a Gideon would have been so good.
Good help is easy.
We can get 1, 2, 3. If we play this. With Vigilance, okay. That's nice. This is the first time this card's been real good. We can also Vraska's Contempt one of our own guys to get 2 more life. So it's not like if he just gets a bunch of burn spells, we're instantly dead. He would have to kill us on the stack, which is unlikely. It looks like this is GG. Very close game, though, 100%. Did not expect to pull out of it as fast as I did. Okay. Okay. Even if that's a land and he would have exactly lethal, we have the counterplay. We got 2, 4, 6. We got enough. We don't need to wait. We could wait for him to do that and try to sacrifice it if we want to be optimal, but it's fine. We could just let him know at this point that he doesn't have lethal. Because if he would have played that, tap it to sacrifice it, could we have... No, I think you can't do it in response to it being on the stat because it sacrifices it as part of the cost. So I think we actually had to do it there. Okay. Well, we did it right. Good game. Good game, Mono Red. But I think I just need a little slightly more of a nutso draw. Maybe, I might think about using Unclaimed Territories to help me fix the mana. But I don't know. There's not that many knights, honestly. It is a keepable hand. It's fucking slow, but we got to Mortify for whatever they drop that's fat. We need double white. Oh my god. God, this deck always is fucked with lands because of Mobilized District. I don't understand. I don't understand. There's another black source. Because we have cards on 3 that are double black and cards on 3 that are, well, we have Raskas. That's no reason to not play this at this point, right? And what do we do against double Rhythm of the Wild? We're basically at the mercy of whatever he wants to play. We can keep Mortify up to do it on his turn, but we have to. There's nothing else playable in our hand. Interesting. All right. Well, we're definitely keeping Mortify up. Again, not that we have a choice. Oh, we got a choice. Two 2/2s. Because if we play Gideon, he just dies to whatever he plays. This we get to choose. Gideon without a dude to protect him against 2 Rhythm of the Wilds is dead. He's probably going to play some fucking fat... One, it's going to be a fat Phoenix first, right? Just waiting for that other land. I do want the Mobilized Districts out. I don't want Gideon out, too. They already have Vigilance, so we just give them Indestructible.
Let me lead the charge into darkness.
We could give him Lifelink, but I think Indestructible is going to be better because we don't know what he's doing. Vigilance and Indestructibles are both really good. Good blockers, but you know, if he's not dropping Galta, he's not dropping Carnage Tyrant right now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, he has up to 5 mana potentially. It's probably going to be a Phoenix. Man, he kept a weird-ass hand. Count to 20. Looking for some of those creatures, but it looks like he's land screwed. It looks like he's got the creatures. He doesn't have the land. That's scary. Another Mobilized District? We don't need... Because, right, each Mobilized District costs 3 land, correct? Because it's normally 4, 1 less to cast for each legendary creature or planeswalker. So I believe it costs 3. Meaning we can't even activate it and use Mortify anyway. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Well, I made a mistake. Oops. I meant to gain 4 life here. Oops. Oops.
You haven't seen the last of me.
Went 1 step too far.
I believe in you.
Alright, whatever. If he plays this fat raptor guy as a 7/7, we do get to just mortify it, but we don't have a lot of time when he's doing things like that. But if he taps out, attacks, like, he's dead. Right? Phoenix is good. Attacking Gideon, right? What? Did you just play that in the wrong order? On purpose? Okay. I could choose to play an Adonto Vanguard. Let's do this first, right?
Prepare for battle.
I could choose to gain an Adonto Vanguard, or I could choose to attack with a 3/3 land. He has 2 blockers. We get in for 4. And then we choose whether or not we want to mortify this. We don't really care about the land that much, right? We could have even made a second one also. Would have guaranteed us in for 5, 6, 7, but that's still not lethal. Actually, no, it's still not lethal. Are we going to keep Mortify up? Actually, we get rid of 1 blocker, right? He can block this. That'll be 3, 4, 5. Again, that's 7. Maybe we keep Mortify up at the end of his turn, get rid of 1 of his blockers. We can put him down to 1, but then we have no tricks. He might attack dumb. We don't care about this land being killed. Either way, this has to block and die, right? Okay, it doesn't have to. You're right. It could block that 1. I don't know why I was thinking that these both got indestructible. Now, mortifying now is stupid. What do I do if I mortify now? I save my 2/2. That I feel like that was like a huge misplay. I should have just brought this down to 1. We'd have had 4 or 5 attackers. He would have only had 1, 2, like 3, maybe 4 blockers. That was dumb. Now we missed out on 2 damage for literally no reason. Damn. That was so dumb. Because he let Gideon through, which is crazy. But he wouldn't have. So our land would have lived. No, but it would have been basically the same thing. What? Submit 0. I'm gonna decline. Attacking that with Gideon. Okay. You attack that with Gideon. Oh, that was it. Because he wouldn't have been able. I guess you could have just not attacked. Like, no, because you wouldn't have had no blockers. Yeah, I guess that was guaranteed
Kind of
lethal. Entitled advertisement-esque things. Double cast down Knight of Malice, Gideon. Gideon, Knight of Malice are very good together. We don't have double white again because Mobilized District is a pile of shit. It has won us some games, but man, I always feel like I'm land screwed because of this. Knight of Malice is so bad against mono red. Like, it trades with everything, but he also gets just removed. Well, we got our double white, so let's start playing that out, I guess. All right. What are we going to do here? We obviously cast down anything like Steamkin. Yep, okay. We let him play whatever he wants, make him think that he's going to be able to attack with the Steamkin. Because Steamkin being alive might alter his plays to be less optimal. Not going to stop the 1 damage. Shock it. I don't know what the right play is here. I don't know if stopping it there is the right, or if I wait. Because if he has another land and another Steamkin, then we're already, like, dead, right? Like, if he has another Steamkin in his hand, and we would have done that, and he would have played another one, I don't know. It's tough to say what the right play was there for me. We Gideon this turn, he might absorb 5 damage, but he might absorb 0.
This is a prime day for justice.
If they hit him for 5, we're very happy. If he hits him for 0, we still have him, and we could Knight of Malice cast down next turn. Because Knight of Malice would never have lived. Gideon might absorb more damage. But if they're going to dedicate anything, they're going to either go all face, or they're just going to do this, yeah. It's very easy to have lethal in these cards. There we go.
I've fought worse.
This does trade evenly. But we're probably going to need to cast down it, because he's probably going to have a removal for Knight of Malice. We can play double Knight of Malice instead of cast down, because we already have something that trades. Then he would have 1, 2, 3. That would not get through regardless. Alright. This is quite interesting, actually. So we're playing Knight of Malice no matter what. Oh. So Gideon... Because we could block here. This blocks. Easy peasy. Now we can cast this down, but we don't want to cast that down. We play another blocker. Then he's only got 1 point of damage on the board right now. Then we get to start attacking with lifelink next turn.
Share in my light.
Alright, he's down to 16. Gideon obviously can't be used as a blocker ever. He's just a 4/4 attacker. If Gideon give himself lifesteal, he'd be way better.
Let's do this.
That's really good.
That smell. Oh.
Oh,
it's you
but that's not
burning.
very good. We got to give one of these guys his lifelink. Cast this down immediately. Right? Like, the play is give this one lifelink. You can't do anything about it. You could deal 1 damage in response, but you don't care.
Your light will cleave the darkness.
One. Actually, no, we don't have enough mana, so we're just gonna tap this for colorless. Okay. Looks like we have stabilized here. We'll get that. We are healing for 3. You can't kill anything. You could stack block and still not kill anything. You can prevent damage, though. That's viable. Sacrificing that will not accomplish anything, so don't even worry about it. Knight of Malice. And then I think we have lethal next turn with our mobilized district. We can even attack and then -6 this if we need to exile target non-land permanent. I will decline. You may draw all the cards, friend.
Sit back and watch it burn.
All right, we got there. Unless he's got a land and something nuts that I'm not thinking of. Good game. What you got? If you don't leave that up as a blocker, we already got like... Oh, dude, does he have a land double skewer? No, he has that. He does have a land, but if he would have had land double skewer, we would have been dead. That doesn't save you. 3, 6, 9. I will take lifelink. I already know we can't win. I shouldn't be doing this. But, you know, it's just like, it always feels like that better safe than sorry. Just use your stuff. Oh, is he gonna make us wait now because we were doing something? Probably. I mean, that's fair. But I just, like, with mono red, even though I could see there's nothing he could do, you miscalculate one thing and you're fucking dead, and it hurts. But he can only block this. He sees we have 9 damage. Obviously. If we attack this, we die, if that helps. We're not going to. Because you could block one, deal damage to another one, but again, still doesn't do anything. If only would have taken down that Chandra Planeswalker. Thank you. All right, we got there. Hey!